Hi everybody, it's Mystic D and this is D Fernandez, and today we're talking about the Sagittarius full moon, which is occurring on June 11th at 12:43 a.m. here on the West Coast. Check out your time, right? And this full moon is going to be in Sagittarius style, right? Which is wanting what's really meaningful, wanting something that you can grow, wanting something that you can expand. It's your belief systems. It's about the truth as well. And it is about really, believing in something that you have a lot of faith in or something that you really want. It is about the truth. And I said that, but it's about kind of accepting the truth about what you really want in your heart. Yeah. And higher realms, things that are of higher purpose. So yeah, and with the full moon, we always have we have endings. We really do. But the full moon is really a culmination and a peaking of what went on last year. I believe it was December 1st with the Sagittarius new moon, right? So whatever seed you are planting, or thinking about something, or kind of mulling it over, or maybe you just thought about it briefly, right? It could have been a little seed you planted. You know, that can culminate now. It can come true now. It can get moving now, things like that. And the full moon can bring awakenings. And what I mean by that is a revelation. And I was talking about Sagittarius rules the ninth house of higher purpose, higher realms, spirituality. Sagittarius can be the guru, right? The teacher, the astrologer, the mystic. And so here with the full moon, something in us can awaken. A truth can be revealed. A secret can come out. It doesn't always have to mean a secret as in, you found out your neighbor was having an affair. Not necessarily like that, right? Maybe a truth about yourself, that type of a secret, or something that was hidden and not really seen to you, but now you understand it, right? And so yeah, and the full moon will bring out the truth. It could bring out the truth about what's really meaningful to you and what is what is purposeful for you. And the full moon always asks us to merge the yin and the yang, the feminine, divine feminine with the divine masculine, right? It always asks us to do that because the full moon itself is emotional. This is the yin, and the sun is, when we have a full moon, we always have the sun opposite. It's a natural opposition. So the full moon is a divine the sun is the divine masculine, and the full moon is the divine feminine. So when we put those two together, we have something really beautiful. Yeah, we do. We have power. We have the belief in the divine, right? Believe in a higher purpose. We have courage. We have drive. All kind of beautiful things come together when we have the yin and the yang. Yeah, this can talk about, the full moon can talk about moving forward. It definitely can. But usually not being overly emotional with the full moon, because the sun is there to kind of tell the moon, hey, look, we can do this together, but don't be too emotional. We need your emotions at times, but not at this particular time. I beg your pardon. All right. So this full moon is going to ask us to influence us, to expand our horizons, to seek out what's truly meaningful for us, and to embrace freedom. Every year around the same time in June, we get to experience the full moon of Sagittarius. We do, as I said, the new moon was last year, right? And so bringing new philosophies, higher wisdom, and travel, possibly. A lot of people like to travel with the full moon in Sagittarius. We are still in Gemini season. And so with that, Gemini also likes to travel. They're kind of different travels, right? Gemini can sometimes talk about short distance travel, whereas Sagittarius more about faraway lands, right? And culture, languages, and things like that. And Sagittarius is the explorer. There could be like things that you want to explore now with this full moon coming out, showing you the truth about yourself potentially. But Sagittarius is the explorer, the adventurer, the guru, the teacher, the traveler, and the student, right? And so there's a need to release old belief systems with this full moon and shift our perspectives. Remember, the full moons are cycles, right? All the lunations are cycles. So a cycle begins, it ends. That's how life is. Life is full of cycles, right? And so some of us may feel restless as we'll want to explore new ideas and experiences. And this is a time for new visions. Sagittarius is the visionary, right? We see the centaur, half man, half horse, with his arrow, and he's pointing it, and that is based on that is about his vision, a vision that he has. And so many of us will reevaluate our beliefs and values, seeking deeper meaning. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, so we're able to transition and adapt to new circumstances. It's a fire sign as well, so we'll want to explore our passions and what truly matters to us. Some of us will want to burn away. Sagittarius is a fire sign. We'll want to burn away what no longer serves us and keep us expanding those new horizons. June is a big travel month for a reason. It is. I'm recording this on the 9th. And it is a big travel month for a reason. The sun is in Gemini for most of this month, and Gemini does represent short-term travel, as I mentioned earlier, right? While Sagittarius, long distance and faraway lands, people could be traveling both, short distance and, maybe out of the country or abroad, or even across the United States. I find that to be far away. Yeah, I do, especially when you have to sit on the plane that long, right? And some of us will want to learn something new or teach something. So this can be a time of meditation, to practice spirituality, or journaling, or spending time in nature. The full moon is about culminations, as I said, endings and release in its own essence. And Sagittarius wants us to find a deeper meaning, releasing old patterns that burden and limit our expansion or our growth. The full moon will inspire us to trust our instincts. As I mentioned, Sagittarius is the centaur. And this lunation marks the final square between Jupiter and Saturn, a cyclical pattern we've been moving through since last August. This square represents a clash between bold decisions and a fear of restriction at the same time. So with this Jupiter-Saturn square, that is, we're moving beyond that now. This is the last cycle of this. But, as I said, Jupiter is the planet for ruling Sagittarius, and Saturn is ruling Capricorn. So, Jupiter is about, what we want to expand, what we want to grow in, what we want to do, right? What we desire, what new adventure we want. And Saturn is the stern teacher, so which can impose restrictions on us. So this is why this square has really kind of made people, take action or decide, like bet on themselves, because Saturn can sometimes, kind of impose on us this fear of, oh, it won't work out, oh, it's not going to work, blah, 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 and, don't you remember the past, it didn't work, this other thing. Jupiter, Saturn, they can work really well together, because Jupiter wants to expand and Saturn wants us to mature, and achieve both. But we have to have done the work, the self-discipline, or the maturity has to be there, right? So yeah, Jupiter will bring hope, liberation, and expansion, and Saturn, ruling Capricorn, brings its demands for discipline or tightened restrictions. And how this plays out, this Jupiter square to Saturn, will really depend on us and our perspective, our belief system, and our belief in ourselves, and what we really want for ourselves in terms of higher purpose or something meaningful, right? So on the 9th, this is today, the natal ruler of Jupiter, it just entered Cancer. So Jupiter's at home in Cancer, it's in full dignity, it's exalted. It loves being in Cancer. So, this Jupiter in Cancer, you can talk about like having kids, buying a bigger house. Cancer is the home and family, but it's also where you live. It's also based on the public and your mind, your emotional mind, though, not really your logical mind. No. Cancer is the 4th house of foundation as well, what really kind of keeps us safe, or what we feel is keeping us kind of feeling, balanced, emotionally balanced, right? And so, yeah, the themes for Jupiter in Cancer can be expanding the home, as I said, moving into a bigger one, renovating, nurturing family members. There could be a time maybe where we want to nurture family members. growing roots and growing emotionally. This could be a Jupiter and Cancer theme, and understanding what's truly important for our emotional well-being. That's a good one. And I feel like a lot of people are doing that with the full moon. They're noticing what's really good for them, like what makes them feel so much better in life, right? Their emotional well-being. So let's talk about the horoscopes now. And we're going to move from Aries to Pisces, right? As we always do, Aries is the first sign. And so just remember, you guys, when you're checking your horoscopes or watching them, it's always your ascendant or your rising sign that is the most resonating. It is, because these horoscopes are done based on the houses, and that is the first house for you, whatever your rising sign is. If you don't know your rising sign, you go by your sun sign, and your sun sign has a lot of weight here, right? Whatever that may be. And your moon sign will be last, because that is the emotional side of you, right? And not everything is terribly, although this is a full moon, there is emotions, definitely there is. But still, not everything is purely emotional, right? Yeah, we'd all be in trouble if everything was just emotional, right? You'd have to be dealing with something every moment. Oh, that's making me feel away. Oh, that's bothering me. Oh, I don't feel so great now. Things like that, right? Or maybe, you know, overly emotional just about things that don't need that, right? So let's talk about Aries. And so Aries, I'm going to put it the way it's kind of supposed to be. Aries rising, Aries sun, and Aries moon. And this is happening in your 9th house. So for you, Aries, the intro is it's really always for you, right? I would always listen to, you know, the horoscope. But for you guys, since you're the first sign, Sagittarius is the 9th house. It's happening for you in your 9th house. So the intro is very significant for you, right? And something in your world is expanding, Aries, something very meaningful. Your belief system is changing, and the sun is in your house of information processing, communication, short distance travel, and learning. Not your sun, but the sun. Well, it's yours too, right? And so Uranus, the planet of unexpected change and the future, is in your house of values. So this can be showing you right there that your values are changing. Uranus is about change. It's about innovating, doing things better as well for the future, and being inventive as well. So this is what you could be doing. You could be saying, hey, you know, I can do so much more, or do this over here, because my values are changing, right? And you could change overnight too with Uranus there in your house of values. Yes, it could have been gradual, and then one day, boom, it's just a big change for you. Maybe the full moon will bring that to you, right? Because they can be about sudden endings and things like that. So the sun in Gemini, Aries, is clarifying your plans and goals. It's in opposition with the full moon, and I was talking about the opposition of between the sun and the moon earlier. And so this is bringing change to your house of expansion. With this opposition, bringing change to your house of expansion, growth, travel, philosophy, and education. This is the 9th house. So the sun is, you can imagine the sun over here in Gemini, exactly opposite to the moon in Sagittarius. So that's always an interesting opposition, of course, the full moon, right? So we're asking, what the full moon is asking is for you to merge the qualities. There's change all the time when we have an opposition, but it's really asking you to merge the qualities of Gemini, whatever house that is for you, right? Whatever house it is in the sun for you guys. For Aries, for you, it's in the 3rd house. So this is about your plans and goals. And merge that with your house of expansion, or with your growth, with travel, with your beliefs, and what's meaningful to you, what is really rooted in your higher wisdom and higher realms, higher purpose. That's really what it's about. So this can be about education and philosophy too. Some of you may really want to go back to school and learn, or you could be learning something new. It could be a complete change with Uranus there, right? And so Uranus, it could be a change. You could have been studying something like, I don't know, maybe studying to be a priest or something, and now you're going to be, a dancer, right? Or something like that, right? You don't have to study too much, but what I mean by that is, I just mean like a dancer, they need, like an exotic dancer, right? They also need, they need skill, they do, but it's easier than, maybe these study disciplines that take a very long time, right? I know to be a priest, it takes a very long time, right? But, and I know that's not likely, no, but hey, we like to have a little bit of fun over here. And Mars, your ruling planet Aries, is in Leo at 26 degrees for only a little bit longer in your house of love, fun, creativity, and self-expression. Really interesting there, entertainment and recreational activities. This is the house there as well. So it could be really important. That's your planet for you to have fun this month for sure, right? But it's only there for a little while longer. And this could be giving you, a lot of courage, Aries, to just, express yourself the way you feel, right? Very, as you are, right? Your own self-expression. You could be changing here. Maybe your self-expression is, your style of maybe communication, or when you speak to people, or self-expression can be so much, right? It can also be your artwork too, or just how you do something in your own way, right? But this can be a very sporty month for you too, Aries, and you guys do enjoy sports, right? Mars, your planet, will sextile Jupiter on the 22nd and creating an opportunity. Now, you can get a new job now as Mars will be in Virgo. Virgo is about work. You can start a new health regimen or improve health matters. You can move, Aries, as Mars is in your house of daily routine, and you can gain a new perspective. You may be gaining a new perspective about family or emotional stability in some way. These are all possibilities about how this can play out. Each house has a lot, right? Yeah, and so look out for that on the 22nd, Aries, and the days before, as the sextile will perfect on that day. It does look good for you guys. And so Taurus rising sun and moon, or Taurus ascendant sun and moon, the full moon will be in your house of intimate relationships, shared resources, real estate, and all that is hidden. This is, the 8th house ruled by Scorpio, really, and Pluto. Also Mars as the ancient ruler for this, but this is your house of secrets and psychic ability, Taurus. So maybe you are improving your psychic ability right now. That's a really interesting house there. You could be buying real estate right now. There's a lot that could be going on with the full moon in your 8th house. And your focus can be on money. This is also a house of love. It's money and love, intimate relationships. It can be shared resources where you are, you have joint finances with anybody. Even your boss is a bit of a joint finance because he's writing your check, right? And, also assets and things like that, mutual funds and things like that. But your natal Venus is in your sign, Taurus, is in your sign. Relationships may be the focus, right? Especially those involving shared resources. Your finances could also be the focus now, Taurus, with regard to your stability. Some of you could be making a lot of money right now. And you can meet somebody now from a different culture, perhaps, or expand a relationship that maybe is at a distance, because this is the stuff of Sagittarius, right? Faraway lands and different cultures and languages and things like that. You could be traveling now, and that is where you may be able to meet someone. With Sagittarius in the 8th house, you could be teaching and making a lot of money. You really could be expanding your finances, maybe by teaching. If you are thinking of a new study course, it's also a good time for that. So for Gemini, rising sun and moon, and Gemini, the sun is in your sign right now, right? And this is happening in your house of relationships, business, romantic, or otherwise. So this can be with the Sagittarius full moon. Maybe you are going to, get into a new relationship. Maybe you're going to end one. It's possible with the full moon. But this is in your house of balance, fairness, legalities, and opponents. Yeah, this can be about, people who kind of give you a hard time, open enemies, things like that. Communication in your relationships can feel more philosophical, Gemini, and more playful. Your relationships might feel more adventurous. You could be seeking out a relationship that is more adventurous, more meaningful. It just really kind of depends. But that is the stuff of Sagittarius. It is. And Libra, because this is the house This full moon happens in your 7th house, ruled by Libra. Although your 7th house is ruled by Jupiter because it's in Sagittarius, right? Flavored, very much flavored by it's the 7th, it's in your house of relationships, flavored by Sagittarius. That's what it's about. So you could be expanding or growing a relationship, as I mentioned, or taking it to the next level, growing a relationship perhaps, and feeling very optimistic about it, maintaining balance between what is logical and practical versus what's very meaningful to you. And Gemini, you could also, be in a relationship making a lot of money with somebody. It doesn't always have to be romantic, right? You could. Perhaps your beliefs may need a balanced approach. It's a possibility. But this may have to do with the nurturing of others as well. And so Jupiter, the ruler of the full moon, Gemini, is in your house of money, values, beliefs, and well-being. Okay, so that's really cool. And you can let something go, and this helps you to grow and expand your world, expand your mind even, perhaps allowing you, Gemini, to feel stronger emotionally as Jupiter's in Cancer. This is really nice for you, Gemini. It is. Your natal Mercury rules your house of the past, allowing you to leave something behind. This can be related to family or family roots. And conversely, the full moon can bring a relationship to an end. A legal matter, perhaps, can be winding down or coming to an end with that 7th house, full moon. Something can be revealed to you, Gemini, and you can learn of a very important truth. All right, so for Cancer, this is happening in your house of daily routine and obligations, work, and health. So this is the house that makes our life work, right? The daily grind. It can be paying bills. It can be picking up the children, getting dinner on the table, going to a job, all these kind of things that make our life work, especially, and work and health as well. Excuse me, the sun is in your house of mystery, closure, and release. And there's something you understand, Cancer, that needs to be let go of. It could be you're letting go of overthinking or self-doubt with this kind of 6th house. Yeah, 6th house. And this full moon will bring you a clarity that perhaps you have a new perspective that your work should be more meaningful or allow you more freedom. And that is, very Sagittarian as well, right? And some of you may be seeing that a job where learning, growing, or expanding is very important to you. Some of you can become teachers, Cancer, or travel agents, or maybe you see that is what you want. And remember, these are based on general horoscopes. If you really want to know, then you get a chart, right? Or an astrology reading for sure. But you may want to go back to school or become an author. You may, Cancer. So let's move on to Leo now. And Leo, this is happening. The full moon is in your house of romance, fun, self-expression, recreational activities, entertainment, children, and parents. The interesting is it's in another fire sign, right? It happens to be, Sagittarius happens to be your 5th house of fun. So, this is very cool. You could really be wanting to have lots of fun, right? And you do, the 5th house is your house by nature. Like natally, that is your house, right? Yours happens to be in Sagittarius. And the sun is in your house of the future. The sun is your planet. So this is why this looks so good, in my opinion, and opposing the full moon. Remember I said when you have an opposition, it's best to merge those qualities in order to make something good, right? In order for a beneficial change basically to happen. But and your self-expression or your creative endeavors, you're seeing a new way, Leo, more innovative perhaps, one that can grant you more independence or authenticity. And you might be taking a relationship a little more seriously or growing it. You could be taking things to the next level. The full moon will bring change. Your philosophy around your creative work, even having fun and enjoying yourself, maybe that changes, like the kind of fun you want to have possibly, which, something that is more aligned with you now or maybe more authentic. And something is happening with Mars in your sign, in a trine with the full moon. So trines happen quickly. They are when developments occur and then everything's much easier, obstacles are removed. So when we see a trine in a chart, is something beautiful. Yeah, and so something is happening with Mars in your sign in a trine with the full moon. This is all about expansion, taking action, moving forward, and the key is your self-expression or creativity. And you know, Mars, which can talk about anger and this and that kind of, and being impulsive, so can, you know, in this trine with Sagittarius can be impulsive too. But you know, it can talk about, you know, maybe anger or something like that. But I feel like what you have here is courage, and things are going to be really easy for you to go ahead and do something that was either maybe hindering you, right? Maybe now it's your time to finally do it, and it's been hindering you that you weren't able to do it, or it wasn't the right time. It could have been hindering your self-expression even, right? Or maybe, you know, or your kind of your style of how you assert yourself in the world, right? It could be, yeah, I just realized here, so Mars, you know, Mars is in a trine with the full moon. They're both fire signs, Mars and Sagittarius. So, you know, this can be very, very passionate for you, whatever this is. And, you know, I mentioned the anger because, you know, with passion, sometimes we can be a little angry, right? And we can be also impulsive. So the moon is opposing Jupiter in your house of endings, fantasy, and the subconscious. This is also the house of visions, vices, and illness. Yeah, it's a very interesting house. This is the house, the 12th house. And so this is also a beautiful house, really, of transcendence, healing, you know, creativity, compassion, also even, you know, kind of photography and cinematography and movie making and all this kind of stuff. But this is why we talk about fantasy, right? This is also the house of closure. So the full moon can influence you to make a decision about something that no longer serves you, Leo. And so you could be seeing a better way, right? Maybe a better way to expand something, to grow, to move forward. You have the courage and the drive to deal with it with Mars in your sign. All right, so let's talk about Virgo. And the full moon is in your house of home and family and emotional stability. This is your home address or where you live. Virgo could be opposing the sun in your house of career, reputation, and legacy. You could be doing something that's really life-changing with the full moon coming out. It could be related to home and family, but something very life-changing. You might move. Maybe you're going to move to, you know, Antarctica, or, oh, you can't move there. You don't even go there. You'll get in trouble, right? But maybe you're moving to Norway or Sweden, right? You're moving somewhere, and it's really far away. That's very Sagittarius here. And it's happening in your house of, you know, home and family. This may be why you're going to move far. But this is only, these are some of the possibilities that can play out with this, right? It would depend on your chart, of course. But this is also the house of the father as well. So maybe there's something going on with your dad. Maybe you're moving your father or moving with him. You might be a father yourself. But there's going to be change for many of you with regard to how you handle home and family or your emotions versus how you're leading your life, your outer life, your career, your status, your legacy, your reputation, or how you want people to see you. There's some type of change going on there. And sometimes, you know, this 10th house, you know, this house of career can be about like your own agency, your authority in your life as you lead your life as well, like leaders and bosses, but you kind of running your own life basically. And so Jupiter, the ruler of the full moon, is in your house of the future, conjoining your natal ruler Mercury. And there's expansion for you, Virgo. You may be accepting a truth about your life, or your philosophy is changing, but big time, at least about something particular. It could be you're seeking higher meaning in your life, and you see a greater or a higher purpose for yourself in the future. A freer way to look at a particular area of your life, and you could be doing it, right? Looking at life like, gee, I want to live a little more free or kind of independent. It doesn't always mean that you don't want to be with a partner. It doesn't necessarily mean that, right? And with Mercury ruling planet, there's a sextile there offering up an opportunity that you may or may not take. You may not see the opportunity, or you may feel like it is not the right time. Only you will know that part, right? And your beliefs or values have changed. The Mercury-Jupiter connection is allowing you to understand and seeing things clearly in order for you to make calculated decisions, right? There's also a square that is separating, but you're leaving things behind that feel restrictive. And this can be in relationships, could be connected to shared resources, with Mercury and Jupiter squaring Saturn. And you've been doing, you've been actually possibly leaving things behind already, because the South Node, things that are no good for you, Virgo, things that we need to learn from, like lessons, and move forward, right? It has to do with our maturity sometimes. It has to do with past lives, right? It does, and that's for another discussion, right? But you've been doing this as the South Node of the past has been in your sign for some time. Yeah, and so that anything that has felt restrictive or challenging, you've been letting that go. And this full moon is helping you to do it. It is. So let's talk about Libra, and this is happening in your house of the mind. So Libra, this is the way you process information or think about things, what you like to read about, talk about, study, maybe what you like to watch, things that, it's anything that has to do with the mind, right? This is the house of plans and goals because of the mind connection, of course, decisions and conversations. So siblings and extended family, this is also the same house, right? You could be spending more time, Libra, or in contact with cousins and aunts and things like that, or maybe you're spending more time with extended family. Spending time with neighbors and local community, that can also be, that can be a very, third house thing, because you have your full moon. This full moon is in your third house, right? And there may be a study course that you're wrapping up, maybe or completing. Maybe you're starting one as well. Travel can be indicated, short or long distance, Libra. The sun's in your house of travel and faraway lands. Yeah. And Venus, your ruler, is in your house of intimate relationships. That's really awesome. This is a money house too. So this is, when Venus is at home in its own sign, right? So it is the ruler. It is the ruler of Libra and also Taurus. So when we have Libra at home in your sign, or Venus rather, this can be about relationships. This can be about your money, possessions, stability, finances. But this is focusing on material security in relationships. It can be that as well. So this can be the money that you earn with a partner. But that's very good. So, maybe your finances are improving. Maybe you are building and saving with, a partner or a business partner. It can be either one, right? And so Jupiter, the ruler of the full moon, Libra, is in your house of career and legacy, which is great because it's helping you to move your career forward, expand. You might feel more fulfilled during this lunation, this 2-week cycle, right? Or even after you are maybe embarking on a new job. Whatever you are doing here, it's in your house of career and legacy, Jupiter itself, not the full moon, but the ruler of the full moon. So that is definitely helping you to expand career or your status, right? Maybe, for those who are independently wealthy, or retired and things like that, this can be about your status or your reputation, your legacy. But the moon is opposing Jupiter, and you might feel a need for balance between career and family, Libra, or your career and your private life, or your status in your private life, your reputation in your private life. That could be too. And that opposition will bring change to you. On the 22nd, Mars will sextile Jupiter, the ruler of the full moon. And there's an opportunity for you, Libra. Mars is in your house of the future, unexpected change, innovation, and social groups, while Jupiter is in your house of career and reputation. A friend can help you get a better job, or some people a group of people maybe. And you may see an opportunity that allows you to overcome doubts and fears. Who doesn't want that, right? Because, it may be related to, they may be related to a career or a situation with a father figure or like a higher up, a boss. But a wish can come true for you too, Libra. All right, so let's talk about Scorpio. And the full moon is in your second house of earned income, material possessions, values, and self-esteem. So the moon is trining your ancient ruler Mars in a money house, your house of career. This is your 10th house of career, right? The sun is in another money house, in your house of intimate relationships and shared assets. So the full moon is influencing your finances, at the very least, the way you look at them, right? And so Jupiter, the ruler of the full moon, is in the 9th house of spirituality, philosophy, and higher purpose, right? True purpose. Your true purpose, also in your house of long distance travel. That's where the full moon is. That's where Jupiter is, rather. You could be traveling abroad, Scorpio, and Jupiter loves being in Cancer in its natural house. It's also in a water sign, which is good for you, right? You are a water sign, and this is a time to nurture all that is meaningful to you. Yeah, all that is of purpose. Yeah, and you could be learning something that can bring you capital, Scorpio, that can help you improve your finances. The full moon can ask you to be less emotional about what's going on for you and to believe in your higher purpose, to allow enthusiasm and a positive perspective to guide you. And also your belief system can change. So we're going to move on to Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, this is your full moon, and so therefore the intro has a lot to do with you. It does. We have the full moon in your first house of self, opposing Jupiter in your house of intimate relationships. This is a time for personal growth. Jupiter is in Cancer, and you might realize that self-nurturing can help you to grow, right? It sure can, right? We have positive self-talk, right? That's only going to help, right? And, doing things that make us feel more empowered as well, right? Can do that too. Enjoying yourself can do that. Taking time out to be with yourself is nurturing as well. And you could also realize that this nurturing can help you to expand your world and support your emotional stability. Jupiter is conjunct Mercury, so they're temporarily married, so to speak, right? Allowing you to approach relationships or your finances differently. Also, this can have you approaching a relationship or relationships with shared resources differently. That's a possibility here, as this can play out for you, Sagittarius, right? Family relationships can improve, or suddenly they're more important. That could be the case here. And you could also be seeing, kind of, Sagittarius, that whatever you are seeing in your life of maybe about family relationships, we'll just, we'll use that as an example. You could be seeing that, there's no need to kind of think about anything kind of petty. That, whatever is very meaningful to you, maybe with relationships, can help you really expand your relationships, right? And there is a bit of, the 9th house too, or for you, it's in your first house, but there's a bit of maturity in that because there's wisdom. Sagittarius rules wisdom, the 9th house of philosophy and higher learning. This is about wisdom as well. So there's something that you could feel wiser these days, right? You might, right? Which is always a good thing, right? Mars is in your house of higher purpose, and the moon is trining Mars, removing any obstacles or stagnancy even, or hurdles. So when we have a trine, we have quick developments. We do. It makes it much easier. And this trine, yeah, that's what that's about. But anything that restricts you, Sagittarius, is overcome. Yeah, you're overcoming anything that restricts you. I'm a Sagittarius, and I know that I've just recently overcome something that I thought was really bothering me. Yeah, and so now I'm just like, let it go. Just kind of give it to the universe, give it to God, and never mind it, because it's not helping me to kind of look at that, right? And just, yeah, that restriction. Because if you see something as a major restriction, you're going to feel that you're being restricted, right? So it is about your perspective to a large degree, right? Mars is trining Chiron in your house of self-expression. So Chiron is the tiny asteroid that is, you know, kind of the wounded healer, right? Chiron, something happened to Chiron, and I think he like lost a leg or something like that. But Chiron is about, Chiron was a centaur, I believe, as well, like Sagittarius. But Chiron, I could be wrong, don't quote me on that part. But Chiron is about healing. It's also about introspection and, being in introspection so we can learn about ourselves, so we can overcome things, often things that are both physical and psychological. We can certainly overcome things with our mind that are psychological if we are determined, and also physical as well, right? If you tell yourself you can do that as well. It was depend on your level of kind of belief and belief in the unseen, right? And so this transit, though, is helping you to see yourself in a more powerful way as you're able to heal relationships, or kind of just get over yourself in the way that you just believe in yourself more, right? More confidence in your self-expression, right? You could be really just feeling like, hey, this is how it is, not in a bad way, but just being yourself, really, right? And that's really important to Sagittarians, but it is important to everybody, right? That everybody's unique here, and everybody came here to do what they came here to do. So it's important that we understand that we are all unique. So for Capricorn, and the full moon is happening in your 12th house of mystery, the unconscious. This is the house of closure. It's also your house of fantasy, cinematography, things like that, right? Uncertainty, nebulousness, like a fogginess, right? And not able to see. The house of boundaries, vices, illness, and transcendence. There's really a lot to the 12th house. It's the most interesting house, in my opinion, because of the mystery aspect as well. And so Jupiter, the ruler of the full moon, is in your house of relationships, Capricorn. A relationship can move forward, grow, and expand. And any type of relationship, right? This can be business or otherwise. And one could end now, Capricorn, and something can be revealed to you, Capricorn, about a relationship or someone important to you. And you might feel you need more freedom or more purpose and meaning in a relationship, or just in your relationships in general. The full moon is opposing your 6th house of daily routine, obligations, health, and work. So your daily life could change as you know it. You might need it to be more meaningful. You might need it to be to have more independence or freedom. Maybe within your day in and your day out, right? Routine or schedule. And you may come into more responsibilities, Capricorn. You may end a job. You could find new work, and work that is more aligned with you, or one that you feel like where you can grow. And so there is a trine with the moon. There is a trine here with the moon and Saturn. Saturn is your ruling planet. Your family life, your feeling of emotional stability, that's all going to get better, Capricorn, and that can play a part in how you view relationships. And this trine is going to make it easier for you, potentially building strong ties, family ties, or with partners. And you could be closing out a cycle, and you feel like closing that out could bring you more freedom and more meaning into your life. All right, so let's talk about Aquarius now. And the full moon is in your house of the future, unexpected change, and social groups. This is also the house of hopes and wishes. And Jupiter, the ruler of the full moon, is in Cancer, in your house of daily obligations, daily routine, health, and work. This is the house that makes your life work. And you might be promoted, Aquarius, or you are expanding and growing in whatever you do for work. You may want a job with more freedom and adventure or independence, or it simply feels more, adventurous, possibly. Maybe you want to teach, right? It's very Sagittarius, right? And health issues can improve, physical or emotional. So friendships, family ties, or group connections with others can expand and grow, Aquarius, and you might find more meaning in those connections with those who like to travel, or those who maybe have the same philosophy as you. That's a possibility here. Or those who are more adventurous, they want to travel. Maybe people who like to learn, languages, or just any type of learning, really. But you may suddenly realize with this lunation that your daily routine needs more independence, more meaning perhaps, like your daily life. Your life might need more meaning. It's possible. The moon trines Mars. You should find it with the Sagittarius full moon. You should, right? You should be able to see it, because the full moon often reveals the truth to us, right? Bringing in endings that really kind of make us, sit up and take notice. That can happen during this lunation, for sure. So the moon trines Mars, and this is important because with a trine, Aquarius, everything becomes easier with planets that are in the same element. So in this case, this is the fire element, and Mars is in Leo, in your house of relationships. You're seeking relationships that are meaningful and passionate. If you're not in a relationship, you can meet someone possibly through a group of friends or like-minded people. And so now for Pisces, this is happening in your house of career and status, leaders and bosses. This is the house of your reputation, your legacy, your status, and the house of the father. So your career could be the focus right now, Pisces. You may be taking on more responsibilities when Jupiter is in this house. Jupiter, the ruler of the full moon, and your ancient Jupiter is the ruler of the full moon and is your ancient ruler. And so Jupiter is in your house of romance and fun. You could be really having a lot of fun right now. You could. A relationship can improve. Your self-expression can be kind of becoming more authentic, more of who you really are. That can, right? And you could be growing from that. And this is also where Jupiter, the ruler of the full moon, and in your house of romance and fun. This is also the house of self-expression, entertainment, hobbies, excuse me, and recreational activities. Self-nurturing, Pisces, and even a decision to nurture yourself more. More self-care can have a big effect on you with your personal leadership, your personal agency, how you go about, right, in the world, how you go around, kind of, and in your relationships as well. Family or partners that nurture you during this time can encourage your own self-expression. And you might want a career that allows more freedom or purpose, possibly here. You're able to let something go related to romance, something that may have affected you, like in your daily life, kind of, right? And health, or maybe, mental health as well. This is usually the house of physical health, but can be, right? And you're able to earn more money now, Pisces, or embrace your values, or you feel it's easier to do that right now. You could be letting go of a romantic interest. I feel like I mentioned that. Or the way you previously thought about relationships, or maybe even a particular person. But your self-expression is kind of changing here. I feel like it's improving. It's growing, the way you kind of express yourself. And it does look really good, too, for you, Scorpio. Pisces, I beg your pardon, right? Trust me, this has been about Pisces. And this is also your full moon, as Jupiter is your ancient ruler. So this full moon is, we can say it's your full moon as well, with Jupiter being your ancient ruler. So today I'm going to end this reading. Thank you so much for joining me here. If you guys want to get a past life reading with me, I'm a certified. Those are Dolores Cannon style. Those can really help you leave behind karma that you don't even know you're carrying, right? As an astrologer, I know this to be true because the past life readings are connected to the South Node, which everybody has in their chart, right? The South Node has to do with letting go of past lives, letting go of the karma, the same patterns we carried into this life because we didn't yet learn the lesson in order to become our true potential or our best selves, right? If you want a psychic reading, I'm also a psychic. I'm a life coach. Check out the description box below. And I'm always checking, my psychic readings for accuracy, right? Of course. Thanks so much for joining me here. Please like, share, and subscribe. It does help me to keep these videos coming. And these videos, if you will notice, now they are on my tarot channel. The tarot's not going to change, you guys. It's still going to be the same. No worries on that. But I wanted to bring the astrology into it. And so thank you so much for joining me here, you guys.